Torah Parshas Tav, Peshut Zayin, 12 lines in the bottom of the first column. Okay, now the Rebbe is explaining the difference between Kriyas Yamsuf and Mashiach is going to split Nahar Pros into 7 compartments. Unlike Kriyas Yamsuf was 12 compartments. So he says Kriyas Yamsuf is Malchus Datzilis, which is the Yam split into 12 for each Shevet to go according to its own level. And that's in the Revelation, the way Atzilus comes into Yam. And he says that's the level of Kriyas Yamsuf, because preparation for Matan Torah was that when a Jew does a mitzvah, he reveals godliness higher than world into world. So that's what Kriyas Yamsuf is all about. That Yam became Yabosh, at the level of Elokus higher than world, that became revealed in world. So he says, because Matan Torah is the preparation for Kabbalah mitzvahs. So now he says, though, about Mashiach, he started talking about Mashiach. Mashiach is greater than Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, greater than Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So he says, so the question is, how can somebody, Moshe Rabbeinu, handle greater than all the tzaddikim that are going to get up and Tchiv Sameis? This is what we're up to now. Because Mashiach comes, like we said, it's going to be Torah Chadash Miti Teitzei. It's going to be a new revelation of Torah, Sharuch Omeretz Midah, which is infinitely great. And there's infinite revelations in the Pnimis HaTorah. Just like you mentioned before, that in order to have Matan Torah, which is the action to bring Kedusha higher than world into world, there had to be the splitting of the sea, which means that Yam, the revelation is higher than world, became Yabosha. Therefore, in order for the revelation of Pnimis HaTorah has to be the level of a Heinif Yodei Al Nor. The same thing, the Nor also has to split. What is the Nor? Nor Pras Dechsiv Bein. Nor Reviu Pras. Okay? Hu Avam Merazal Perak Basa the B'cheres. The Gemara says in the last parak of B'cheres. Hu Di Mikora Hainu B'cheres. Nor Ayetz Me'eden. Nor Reviu Pras. The Gemara says that was the river from the beginning. Hu B'cheres Bina, which is Machshava. Shel which is a level of thought higher than speech. Therefore, no shemachshava einu nochav shekatrin shechas tamid. Okay. Now the Rebbe is saying, what's the level of Kriyas Yamsuf? That Yam, Malchus becomes Yabosha. Right? There's 2 levels of Malchus, the hidden level and the revealed level. He says, Nahar Pros refers to Machshava, which is really the level of Bina. Why? Because just like thought, what's the difference between a Nohar and a Yam? A river flows, it's constantly moving. The ocean, the Yam, is not moving anywhere. Yeah, it moves in the waves, but a river, the water flows from place to place. That represents the level of Machshava, which here he says is the level of Bina, because Machshava also never stops. You can never stop thinking. So Nod is a greater level than Yam. In other words, Kriyas Yamsuf is Malchus of Atzilus revealing lower. Nar Pras splitting is Seichel revealing itself in Midas. The split to reveal Seichel in Midas. And that's what he said, okay, Nor Nimshul Tamid. The Lord Shebenor or Elav Kol HaGoyim, all the Goyim will flow to him. Masha'en Kena Yam is called Mikveh Mayim. It says in the beginning of Mikveh Amayim Kora Yamim. So the ocean is a gathering of water. River, Nor means it constantly is flowing. That's the level of Dibur. There, Nor Yetzim Eden. Sheyetzim and Nimshach Tamid from the level of Eden. Okay? So he says the Pearl, there's a difference between, and he's not done yet, there's a big difference between what happened in Kriyas Yamsuf, which is a preparation for the lower level of Torah, versus Kriyas Yamsuf, Nahar Pros, which is the preparation for Pnimius HaTorah. So it's a much greater revelation. So therefore, the splitting of Yam becoming a Bosha, so to speak, is not a level of Malchus, the lowest level, just going into Bria. Here it's Seichel becoming into Midas, which is a much higher level.
Because it's going lower.
Not because it's coming lower. It's on contrary. Seichel and Midas is higher than Malchus going into Biyah.
I'm saying from a higher thing it goes into something that's even lower.
One second. Thought also has letters. When you think, everybody thinks in the language they know, which is letters. Chassidus explains like this. Even in machshava, in thought, there's two levels. Sometimes, let's say, you're thinking how to express yourself. Okay? So those letters in thought are tangible letters. Let's say you want to reveal an idea, so then you're thinking actually in letters. How am I going to express it in the language I'm expressing it in? But then you have also thought, you're just generally thinking. There's no tangible letters yet, but there's still letters. You're thinking in your language that you know. They're not just that tangible yet until they come down into the lower level of machshava. But even machshava, a person thinks in a certain language. Whatever your mother tongue is, that's the language you're thinking.
He's talking about the levels of Mashiach now?
So we're not done yet. 1 second. And really, machshava is only a garment to Chochmah. It's much deeper than dibur. It's only a levush, in the Asis Adibur, but they're not as helem like the Asis Adibur. Okay, so he says like this. Okay, so he says, so what is what happened over here by when Mashiach comes? It says, she is galus atzmius Eiden ha'elyin, will be the ultimate revelation of Eiden ha'elyin, which is really the level of Kesed. Shaloi kamesha nimshach began Eiden al yedei nohar. Not like it got. Okay, let's explain this in simple English. The pasuk says in the beginning of Chumash, there was Eden. Then it says like this: "V'nor yitzem Eden, a river came out of Eden, lahashkis sagan, to water the garden." So there's three levels. There's Eden. Okay. There's Eden. Then there's Nahor Yitzem Eden, the river that comes out of Eden. Lahashkis Sagan, to water the garden. So there's three things. Now we say Gan Eden. But then, before the Chet, there was Eden, there was the Nahor, and there was Gan. Now all the revelations in the world come through the Nahor from Eden into Gan. Okay? Lots of love, a Nahor process splitting means that Eden is going to become revealed in Gan without the Nahor. Right. Because Nahor, that's what he's splitting. He's revealing the Nahor, he's taking away the concealment of Nahor. Now, Nahor conceals Eden into the Gan. So the Gan is only getting Eden through the Nahor. But if you split the Nahor, the original Nahor, Nahor Pras, so then what happens is, the Gilui of Eden, which is even higher than Chochmah, that is becoming revealed in Gan without the Nahor. Why is that a greater revelation? Because Mashiach's coming is Pnimis HaTorah, which is the infinite level of Torah, versus the mitzvahs level of Torah, which are limited in time and place. Right? Mitzvahs are limited really in time and place. You have to you can't eat matzah and purim. I mean, you're not going to get a mitzvah. You can't bench lulav and shvuos. No, there has to be a time when you do it. And time and date, time and place, by the way. And amounts. So that's all the limited Torah now. That's a much, much greater, deeper level of Torah. That's why it says, the Aves, and Moshe Rabbeinu is expressed in many places in Chassidus. The Avos of Moshe Rabbeinu are waiting 3,000 years in Gan Eden, with all those revelations, keep going up and up and up in Gan Eden. They're coming back for Tchisa, they're waiting anxiously for Tchisa Mesim to hear Torah Shel Mashiach. So it's all given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. But the Torah wasn't revealed until Mashiach comes. Now we're just tasting a little bit, like we said.
Will the mitzvah of letting Ephraim, will that apply in time of
Mitzvahs
Mashiach?
b'telis lasad lavi, whatever that means, but mitzvahs are not going to be existing lasad lavi.
Because it's coming from such a high.
I understand. That's why mitzvahs b'telis lasad lavi.
When you say that Eden, so it means that Dan and Eden are one without the not.
Not nowadays, no.
So why do you say Dan Eden?
Because Eden lowered itself to God. Originally, it was 3 levels. After the sin, it became 1 level, Gan Eden, which means the higher level became lower. Not revealed lower. It's only the Gan of Eden. Which Chassidus explains, Medrashim also. Gan is 53, which is the 53 Parshas of Chumash. The Sedrus of Chumash. Right, there's 53 Sedrus in Chumash. Parshas, whatever you want to call it. So that is the revelation of Gilu into Torah. But now we're going to have the Gan, the level of Torah, without the Nahar.
Moshe Rabbeinu's his neshama is klali, general,
No.
everywhere. So wouldn't that be also part of Mashiach's neshama? Wouldn't that be part of Moshe Rabbeinu as well? Because
It is.
of that.
He's not done. He's going to talk about that later. But Moshe Rabbeinu is Taka Hogel Rishon Hogel Achor.
That's
He's
what
the
I'm saying.
first Redeemer, the last Redeemer. So Mashiach and Moshe Rabbeinu are connected. The Rebbe always said the difference numerically between Moshe and Mashiach is 13. Moshe is 345.
Right.
Mashiach is 358. It's 13, which is the level Echad.
But at the time of Mashiach, how is that?
The Rebbe also spoke once that the Shliach is 348. So when the Shliach works with Eser Keches HaNefesh, it's Mashiach.
It's a very deep concept.
No, the Rebbe always spoke about Kinus Shluchim Mois. What?
Okay, so the Gan is going to go into Eden, and the Prat is going to go the concealment. At the time of splitting the...
Don't lose any sleep over it.
No. The comparison to Yam Suf.
It's a much deeper level. Yam Suf was a Malchus of Atzilus, became revealed. Here we're talking higher than Atzilus, became revealed in Atzilus.
Verstehst? Versteht?
Much higher.
Much higher. No comparison higher. Okay, Hainu. She has Galus, Atzmius, Eden, or Aliyah. It's going to be the level of a Gilui of Eden. Which means the Eitz is Eitz Malbishim Alimen, veins that feeds of Asagas Atzmius, Eden. Nahar, like you said before, is Machshava, which are letters. So Machshava, we learned Eitz is we conceal the concept. When you conceal letters, you don't know what it means. It's concealing the concept. So now, Eden gets the Gili through Nar. Lochein Amr, as I'll say, Perkei de Baruch Shal Eden, Nema Ayin Leirasa. No eye can see that level of Eden. Shemetemu Gan Hu Eden. I would think Gan and Eden is the same thing. That's what the Gemara says. Tamaleva Nar Yetzim Eden, Lashkis is a Gan. So there's 2 things. There's Eden, there's Nar, and there's Gan. Hainu, Mishum She'ein Amshach Began Eden. Now the Amshach in Gan Eden is only Bemtzos Asis of the level of Nahar She'asis Malimim. And the Gilui therefore is only Ha'ara Ba'alma. If it's revealing through letters, like you said before, like here, right? The power of the Nefesh is extremely limited in the hair because it's blocking. If Yodei Al Hanor is going to be a Gilui and the Nahar, higher than the Nahar, Yavar Legei Bechinas Eden Mamish. Then we'll have the Gilui of Eden. And that's what it says, Arenu Niflois, Arenu Daika, in a level of Re'iyah. It's not going to be hearing miracles, understanding miracles, it's going to be seeing miracles. Shalamar Bechinas Shmi of Avana, which is only Aidei Asis. Understanding, to understand something, you have to have letters to explain it. But this is Ein Adei Meshmiya L'Riyah. And the Inyan Riyah is Bechinas Chachma Atzma Mamash. Okay? So, Loss of Lavai is going to be the Gilui higher than Chachma.
Mashiach is going to split the nar, he said, not for us.
Correct.
In 4 places. So my question, so you said now it's going direct.
When Mashiach comes, it's going to go direct, without the river.
So Mashiach is going to actually split that into 4. He said before that Mashiach...
Into 7.
7, okay.
But he's not done with the 7 yet. Next Gimel, he said, now we understand why it's 7.
It's extremely big amount of revelation.
About the what?
Revelation. There is no concealment.
There's no parcel.
Directly from Mashiach to...
V'rol kol basa yachtav kipi Hashem diber.
There's no
Kamayim leyom mechasim. It's going to be the gili of the essence of Hashem. Dira b'tachteinim.
No parcel.
Later on, the Rebbe is going to explain what's the Cheshbon 7. Because there's 3 of it, 3 more, which is the level of Atzilus. That level is going to be Begillah.
That's 6, no? Or 4.
The last time I checked, 3 and 4 is 7.
Oh, 3 and 4.
3 of it, 4 Imoris. You know those guys? The Bible talks about them.
Oh, right.
So he says that's the level. Loss of love is going to be V'rol kol basar Riyah. And he says, like it says in the Eitz Chaim Mishar Krish Malamita, Dabi Arizal, Shebeshas Ashina B'yem HaShabbos. Other place says like a half an hour sleep. The Arizal slept on Shabbos. Shama B'yeshiva Shomalim Parshas Balakum Bilam Dvarim Nifloim Mashalo Yochel Efashim Ishmeinim Shonim Ritzufim. The Arizal saw in a sleep on Shabbos afternoon. He saw in the heavenly yeshiva about in the parsha Balak and Bilam things that would take him 80 years. Now he says he couldn't even explain them in 80 years. So there's a wonder. How is it possible in 1 hour or less? How can you see in 1 hour things that take 80 years to talk straight? 80 tzufim, it says. 80 years, 24/7. How can 1 half hour, hour even, how can you see enough Torah for 80 years? He says, even though he saw in Machshav, and they're called big letters, because as we know, the mind works quicker than the mouth. Right? So he says, but okay, Mikama came. Or like he says, it's interesting. Therefore, Shabbos is say kel odein al kol ha'maisim shekol eitz yesh b'dalar heitevis. Every letter has 4 or 5 words. V'sha'ale beizeh is called alshin ravivin, the big letters, which is machshav. Mikama came. Hainu shematzim machshava, but ever shah mashu tzarich l'daber shorish time. Okay, so he says what it means. Machshava works quicker than speech. So in a quarter of an hour, you can see, talk 2 hours. Aval sheyazim machshava sha'achas mashu tzarich lemes samach epeisha zen nimna.
It's a pella.
Nimna means impossible.
Yeah.
Aval enyenu shasegos bechinas riyah. He saw when you see something, it's not letters yet, until you analyze it. Understanding, you have to understand with letters. You can't understand without letters. Seeing, you look at a picture, you don't see any letters. In your mind, it's, in 1 second, you can see something. Not the way it comes into Bina. An understanding is it's infinitely greater than Seichel, the way Seichel comes into letters, into understanding. Therefore, it's possible what he saw in an hour or two can take, when you want to put him in letters, okay, it'll take 70 or 80 years. It's very possible it'll take 70 or 80 years. Because you're not seeing, when you're talking about machshava into dibor, so you're talking about smaller letters, bigger letters coming into smaller letters, you're just analyzing. That, a quarter hour, you can talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. But when you see it, it's infinitely above letters. So therefore, that level of Riyah could take 80 years to say. And that's why, like he says, we say by the Eibush, he says, the elif shana beinecha k'yem esmel. How could by 1,000 years by Hashem be like 1 day? Because when you're infinitely greater than time, 1 day reveals itself in 1,000 years. Yep. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu said, what did Moshe Rabbeinu want to do? He said to Hashem, let me go in and see the land. Forget about doing that, living there. Let me go in and see. It says, he saw the Reishis. He wanted to bring down the level of Reishis, beginning of Giluyim. He couldn't affect it. Hashem said no. So what did he do? Afterwards, when Hashem said to him no, he said, V'ati Yisrael Shema. He wanted to bring down Eretz, he wanted to bring down Re'iyah into the level of the Yid. Hashem said to him, sorry, sir, you're not doing it. Who's doing it? Mashiach is going to do it. Because Mashiach is the level of Ma'id. It's going to be the revelation of mitzvahs lots of love. That's what it says. Meaning, thou shall yilmid lamed Mashiach. That's what Mashiach is going to do. And that's what it says, Yaskal Avdi. The level of Ma'id, Sheyesh B'chinazu Gamkin Aliyah thing. There's also infinite elevations in that. What?
Same thing that he said to Yaakov.
Who said to Yaakov?
Later.
No, Yaakov said that to Esav later. Anyway, the bottom line is the difference between Kriyas Yamsuf, which is a Gilui of Malchus, of Atzilus, into Bia in a revealed form, Yam becomes Eretz. But Nahar Pros, because it's the Gilui of Mashiach, is talking about Eden to come down without the Nahar, without the concealment of Nahar, which is Asius, without the concealment of Nahar, is going to come, Eden is going to be revealed.
Abraham was talking about when Yaakov wanted to reveal the cats.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Yes, you're right. Hashem said later. Yeah, correct. Over there, Hashem didn't say later. Hashem said not now.
No.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Every once in a while, the Rebbe puts a Maamar in here, so I don't forget that I'm a goat.
You shouldn't forget you're a goat.
We're at the move.
Halavaya goat.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.